Hi, everyone. Hello. Sorry about the delay there. We are here. No threat. We've had a bit of issue with the software there. There was a couple of technical hiccups trying to get on there. I think Henry's struggling to get online as well, but we are here. Everything seems to be okay. Henry's just going to work on in the background, trying to fix a few things, but all is good. Good morning. Good morning, Julie, Denise, Andrew. Apologies for the couple of minutes delay there. We've got a few more people joining as well. Had a couple of messages, so all is well. And today we're going to be looking at some top tips leading up to Christmas. So I'm going to get on with that, but let's just give it a few more seconds because of the technical issues there. We're just going to wait and see, see if Henry joins us as well. I know he's having a few problems here, but let me see if I can help him out on my messaging system here. Okay, I think he's in. I think he can see us. I think he can hear us. Henry, if you can, all good. And we're ready to go. So I'm going to start sharing my screen because what I want to do today is, like I say, go over some top tips, but we've handpicked these out in the lead up to Christmas. And indeed, there are going to be some more topics we cover in the next few weeks around Christmas and how you should prepare yourself for the new year. Because whilst everybody thinks Christmas is a bit of a slower time for many small businesses, it's not, because it's actually the time of year where people are doing a lot of searches in the background. They're not inquiring with you. They know that you're maybe shut. They know that they can't get in touch with you. But what they're doing is behind the scenes in their spare time, that whether they're at home with the family or, they've gone to someone's house over the Christmas holidays, and they've got loads of time and they're searching, they're researching, they're starting that consumer journey. And it's only in January, mid-January, end of January when you see that inquiry drop in. So it's really important to be there and have everything looking good over those Christmas holidays. And you really got to start doing that now, as much as I hate to admit it. So let's crack on. And for those that are watching this on recording, thank you again for joining us. And there's absolutely so many people that watch this on recording, hundreds. So this week, though, I'm not putting it live immediately. So for those of you that are in the webinar today, thank you. Your time is so much appreciated. And we're not putting this one live on the recording for a couple of days. So you're getting first dibs, I suppose. And I just want to cover a few topics, like I say. So we're going to go over a few different things today. It's not just one topic. I wanted to mix it up a little bit, if that's okay. So we're going to focus, first of all, on social media. Tip number one. So I think Henry can hear me. All is good. He'll drop me a message if there's any issues. And if there are any technical hiccups, just drop us a message in the chat, but everything looks okay. In terms of Facebook, though, let's talk about Facebook and the business page. When it comes to your business page, it's really important to make sure that you take a step back, check your logo, check the cover image, just have a look at it, show a few people, get their opinions, get our opinion. Please don't hesitate to get in touch with us and we'll just give you our honest opinion. But in the business page on Facebook, make sure to include your unique selling points in the bio. Claim your page name as well. So the tips today, I think there's about 8 tips, actually. We've gone a little bit further than 5. We're covering about 7 or 8 tips today. And we've picked these out intentionally because these are the things that we see missing from so many small business owners, Facebook pages, websites, Instagram, etc., SEO. These are the things that we see missing so commonly, like all the time. Every week we're seeing SEO problems, we're seeing Facebook issues, and we're seeing the same mistakes come up. So we've put together this webinar as a bit of a summary of the most common mistakes that small business owners make. And like I say, one of those is not claiming the page name. So make sure you go into your Facebook, make sure you've claimed that name for yourself, and make sure your page isn't a personal one. And that's a basic tip, I know, but we see this happen so much. People are saying to us, hey, can you just check my Facebook page, my business page? And we're having a look at it. And lo and behold, it's just a personal page that they've made to look like a business page. So a really common one is having a personal page. It looks like a business page. So make sure you're using the business template. And another real common mistake we see, believe it or not, is not having the social media links on your website. So this is basic stuff at the moment, I know, but not having your page links on your website is just more common than you think. So we need to have those icons or just the links on your website going through to your Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn as well. If you have LinkedIn, that obviously is a bonus. Twitter, maybe. Anyone else? Anyone got TikTok yet? Anyone picked up on that? Or who was it was talking about TikTok? It was Darren, wasn't it, the other week? And he, he's not a young chap anymore, and he still uses TikTok. So he's a kind of typical consumer, I suppose. And in his 30s and family, and he's married. And I think that's a good example of how the TikTok audience is changing. It's an older generation now. So do consider that. Just going to also check back into the chat. Yeah, everything looks good. I just sorry about flicking around there. I just wanted to make sure we're all looking good. Using headphones as well today, as you can see, so the sound might be a bit clearer. Get my voice right into your business there. You can hear me loud and clear. I hope you've not got any customers whilst we're playing these webinars, because it would be a bit weird watching these. I can imagine someone sat in a shop, for example, a business owner, and it's pretty quiet, and they're watching this webinar, and a few customers come in, like, oh, mate, and I'm going on in the background. Yeah, that would be embarrassing. Anyway, so when it comes to social media, there's a general rule of thumb, and I wanted to highlight this one. I brought this one up before in the past, but it's an important one. Again, it's something we see happening a lot, where business owners are selling their products and services too much. They're promoting themselves too much. There's an 80-20 rule. Promote yourself only 20% of the time. Promote yourself, your products, your services only 20% of the time. It says entertain there. Well, that is basically saying be interesting, be helpful, give advice, and do this all for free. Obviously, you're trying to build that trust. Don't just talk about your products and services all the time. So do that. Try to do that less than 20% of the time. So a common mistake we see with social media is business owners talking about their products and services far too much. When it comes to posts, well, we see a lot of posts orientated around, like I say, products and services. You need to offer value. You need to help people, advise. If all you're doing is pitching and selling, it will turn people off. I just want that to sink in, because that is an important one. People will get turned off, as if you're just talking about yourself and your products and services. So build those relationships. And how do you build relationships? Well, I mean, we didn't intentionally start these webinars to do this very thing. We learned this on the job, in that we launched these webinars last year. Okay, so Henry's saying the microphone is cracking on my zip. Okay, I'll try and put my collar down a bit, Henry. So we launched these webinars last year, and it was just to help people. We didn't have the thought process of trying to build relationships and all these but the webinars clearly work, and if you could do something similar, that's great. But if you can just give advice for your social posts, and maybe you create a video on YouTube. Remember, YouTube is a social media platform, so consider that. Try to do a help video and post that way. But just be human and just post great content. Okay, so it's easier said than done, but don't obviously steer away from too much from pitching your products. You do want to talk about your products and services, but like I say, 20% of the time. So focus on quality, good content, helpful content. It's just, this is a sort of common stuff we see a lot. And when it comes to LinkedIn, like I say, we often see business owners don't even have a LinkedIn page. And I find that astonishing, actually. Or if you're very customer facing and your customers know you, then, well, I just want to tell you something that might be obvious, but you might not have realized this, but people are Googling you. So, yeah, I'm just also looking at the chat as well, seeing if anyone's got any questions. But people are Googling you. And what do I mean by that? Well, if you are talking to your customers and know you by your first name and maybe even your surname, obviously, then what these potential customers, or we see it a lot. We're dealing with a lot of business owners, a lot of clients, and I see it all. People are going to Google and typing in Henry Oliver, for example, or Matt Wiles, or obviously our crew, our team that are a bit more client facing day to day. They are searching Darren Dale. They're searching for these people. Have a look at Darren's LinkedIn, Darren Dale. I'm sure he's updated it. He's on top of it. And the reason why is because he knows that people are looking. People don't just look for InfoServe. They actually look for the person they've spoken to. This makes sense, doesn't it? When I'm saying this, you're probably thinking, yeah, actually, that is, makes total sense. People buy into people, and I've done it with local businesses in the area. I went to a shop the other day, and it was a clothes shop, and I met this lovely lady that runs it, and I actually Googled her afterwards because I was intrigued as how long she'd be doing this, because I was going to order something online from her online shop, but I was a bit skeptical. I didn't really know whether I should put my card details into the online shop. It's a bit of a pop-up shop thing as well. So it doesn't have to be a shop. It could be any electrician, plumber, someone that's coming into your house, a builder. In every walk of business life, then people are Googling you. So make sure you update your LinkedIn. And if you're doing that, how about writing a few posts? Because we often see business owners totally ignoring LinkedIn. And like I say, if you're a personal type of business, if you're kind of down to earth and like to get on with your clients, then they're going to be looking at your LinkedIn. The people are on LinkedIn. Many people are on here, and you need to start thinking about different types of posts. And I know how difficult it is to come up with the content on LinkedIn. So what I've done here is put together some content ideas for you. So if you're watching this, and obviously you'll get a recording of this, you can pause it at this stage and take a few notes from these content ideas. These are the best that we could come up with. So have a little look at those. For example, this isn't difficult to do. Write about a few books that have inspired you. Think about a book that you've read recently, and think about how that might have inspired you. I read a book about being a great manager, creating a great team, and that's probably the sort of thing I should talk about on LinkedIn. And you could put, a post about something humorous, just something funny that's going on in your industry. So if you're a jeweler, because I know Andrew pops into these webinars a lot, for example, and we have a few other jewelers watching this on recording, along with lots of different types of industries. But if you're a jeweler, then maybe there's something funny going on. I mean, we're obviously leading up to Christmas at the moment. Men are useless, aren't they, when it comes to buying presents? So there's a funny thing in that somewhere. Here's a few more ideas as well. We've really thought hard about these and added our own little twist to some of these tips. But yeah, do a bit of research, have a look at your competition, your consumers even. What are they following? What are your consumers looking at on LinkedIn? But there's tons of ideas, but just keep on top of LinkedIn. That's just an important one to note, because I think it's an overlooked platform. So keep on top of LinkedIn. And I want to move on to tip 2. Was that just tip 1? Blooming heck. Wow. Was that just, yeah, it is. That was just tip 1. That was a long one. Okay, so when it comes to SEO, there's something that we see missing on, I would say, about 30% of websites now. Give it 12 months ago, of all the websites and clients that we were checking, it was probably up as high as 50, 60%. But I think a lot of people have actually watched this webinar and acted on one of our biggest tips, and it's quite an obvious one, the title tag. The title tag is a critical element when it comes to SEO. And what we find is it often says home or the business name. So it will say, in this case, Graham Lovis Dental Practice. Well, that's just the business name. Clearly, they've not changed their title tag. We see this a lot. So make sure you have a homepage title tag at least. Stick to the correct amount of characters. And so an example of a title tag, and we've covered this in the past, but it's a big one, is make sure you have your main keyword, main location, and your business name in there. So if you've got chance to do this, make a unique title tag for every page. So whatever's relevant on that page, make sure your title tag matches that content on that page. And a really quick way to get ranking higher on Google and Bing, for real fast results, get those local landing pages. So if you haven't already, then consider how you could get a page structure for locations. So for example, InfoServe, how would we do it? We're not a business that goes out there. We don't cover areas. So this is a good question that some of you may ask, is how can I get local landing pages if I'm just a business, that people come to me, for example. And same for InfoServe. Well, we hide them. We did it and we've hidden it. It might be in our footer somewhere, but it doesn't have to be in the main page menu. But we've got local landing pages for Leeds. I think we've got one for Manchester. But so we've kind of put it as digital marketing Leeds, digital marketing Manchester, web design Leeds, web design Manchester. And when you do those kind of local landing pages like that, it really does help the Google indexing. Google will find that page. You'll see that it's centered around web design Leeds, and it will get it ranking under web design Leeds. And obviously the title tag says web design Leeds. The heading on the page says web design Leeds. The content's all about web design in Leeds. So you get what I'm trying to say, but make sure you have unique content on every page, but try and get some local landing pages set up. So that really does improve your SEO. And I've just mentioned about unique headings, unique title tags, unique content on each page. Need to have a drink because otherwise my mouth goes dry when I'm doing this. So local landing pages. Again, if you need any help on that, obviously please reach out to us or take a look at our website. I think there's a blog that we've got. I think we've got more tips on our website and our blog. And but we're here for advice if you need us. But those local landing pages are so powerful. I can show you so many examples of where we've done it for clients, and then literally a week or two later, they are ranking in those areas. So, for example, I think there was an air conditioning example there, and air conditioning company, and we set up the local landing pages, and then in Birmingham and Manchester, literally we're ranking on page 2 of Google. And if you get to page 2 or 3 of Google within a week or two, you're onto a winner, because over the next couple of months or so, you are likely to go to page 1. So if you can get to page 3 of Google pretty quickly, you're onto a winner. So local landing pages, so important. And we see that missing. I would say, I know I'm throwing numbers out here, but around 60-70% of businesses we see, we don't see local landing pages. So a big one that's missing. And then logos. This is an unbelievable problem, and it's I don't know why so many business owners overlook it. And I don't mean that, in a horrible way. I'm so surprised, because the logo is your brand. It is you. It's you. It's your identity is what I'm trying to get at. And if your logo is low resolution, for example, on your website, then I mean, it starts to look really poor and dated and just, I'm going to say the word dodgy. I think Henry said it in a webinar not long ago, that he will look at stuff like this and he'll make his decision, his mind up, whether to use the company based on these kind of visual aspects. And I do. I really do. I'm looking at the website. First thing I look at is the logo. I'm just wondering, who are they? What is their name? How trustworthy do they look? And there's a reason why Google, Uber, Microsoft, all the big brands invest so much money in a logo. I mean, it's become a bit of a joke, hasn't it? I think BBC updated their logo recently. Probably cost them tens of thousands of pounds for the smallest of tweaks. Remember, BT did something similar. All they did is lose the 3D effect, and it just became a flat logo. A lot of businesses have gone to a flat logo, and this is what you'd call a flat logo here. So without the 3D effect, without the depth. If anyone uses Apple devices, they used to have lots of apps with 3D depth to those app designs, and now it's all flat design. So there's 3D and drop shadow is dead, basically. Drop shadow, no, it's a big no when it comes to logo design. Design in general, any shadows, you've got to be really careful. So you won't see the big brands doing that, because they have the best designers in the world. And a logo makes or breaks that trust. And so we please just take time to have a look at your logo on your website, but also across other platforms like Facebook, LinkedIn, Google My Business, where else? Instagram, TikTok, and all. You make sure your logo looks great, looks really nice, because it really does make or break decisions. We see dated colors, logos, fonts. You need to make sure it's clean, simple, timeless in a way. And looks great on every platform. And it needs to be scalable and versatile. I remember speaking to our designer recently. We were building a website and we were given a logo from a client, and it was it's a really kind of long one, like horizontally. Sorry, it's, I don't know how, it had the business name, and then it had a kind of image at the end. And so really long logo, and he kind of joked to me, good luck with this, good luck on having this look good across all different devices and platforms. And as a designer working with a logo that's dated or really a bad shape, then it just becomes unworkable. So that's why Uber, Microsoft, Google, they all have these icons, these little mini icons, and those help your logo appear better on different devices, on different platforms. You need to have a scalable and versatile logo. And if you've just got a really long logo, then that's not going to be very good in the long run. It's not exactly timeless. You need to at least come up with an identity, like an icon, if you can. If you've got a really long logo, just try and work on an icon or something that kind of associates with your business. So think about the sizing, the vertical, horizontal, and that's kind of what I was referring to there. So we're often getting logos from business owners who are like, this is really difficult to work with. We might do a brilliant website, but as soon as you pop the logo at the top left, it kind of ruins. It can ruin everything. So think about your identity and think about having a high res logo. What is it looking like on your website? Low res, high res? How does it look on the different platforms? Is it versatile enough to work well on those different platforms? Really, really important, the logo, because it damages trust massively. For your website design, and tip number 4, this example here has some problems that we see all the time, typical problems. I wish I could ask Henry at this point what he thinks of this website and what kind of critical issues he can see. I need a quick drink, sorry guys. And the reason why is because there's immediately something that pops out for me, and it's the red font. Avoid red font if you can, like that. Look at all the different colors on that page. It's really looking a bit messy now. We see websites looking dated, the colors, too many colors, the font, too many different types of font. And as you can see on this one here, well, if you can see it, but it has capital letters, it's got different fonts going on, it's got different colors. There's loads of text there as well, loads and loads of text, which I'll come to in a second. And stock images, if you can avoid stock images, do. So if you can get a photographer in, or if you can just take some really nice photos on your iPhone, then do that. If you've got a good iPhone or a good camera on your phone, get a good photo of your business. Or get someone to do it for you, because like I say, images and photos, again, that makes or breaks the inquiry. So this is a good example of how not to do it. And this is obviously a DIY job. They've obviously built it themselves. And it's fairly obvious when someone's built their own website or when someone's edited their own website. I'm not saying that as a in the website design world. I quite often have to put myself in the shoes of a consumer and prospect. That's essentially my job, or give this good advice. And I speak to consumers, I speak to prospects, and we do tests and we look at the data, and it is fairly obvious when something's been edited or designed by the business owner. Unfortunately, as a business owner, you're great at what you do. You do that far better than anyone else, or us, for example. But when it comes to web design, it's really important to use a designer to do that, a web designer. That person's gone through years of training, has years of experience. So you're not paying for the time. the hours that, you know, the couple of hours it might take them to update your website. You're paying for their experience and their knowledge and their education. That's what you're paying for. And I highly recommend that you use a proper designer to update your website, because it's so obvious when someone's updated it themselves. So we see this a lot. We find it difficult to tackle this one, because it is if someone's taken a lot of time to update their website, I mean, good on you. Yes, update the text, update the images, but actually changing elements and design elements and making decisions like putting that red writing there in capital letters, swing it by a designer. That's all I'm saying. Check with a designer. So we see these problems all the time. Too much content, large blocks of text. I mentioned that on the last one there. There's tons of content on that page, and we're seeing this a lot still. So even 12, 18 months after our last webinar, we're still seeing websites with too much content. People don't read that kind of content anymore. People won't read a web. I mean, when was the last time you read a website? You know, that's something to ask yourself. We'll read books. We'll read our Kindles. I don't have a Kindle, but you know, we'll happily read that. But when it comes to a website, people don't read websites. So avoid big blocks of content. Just have it in really consumable, small chunks, bullet points. And I often use some of the big brands as an example. You won't see some of those guys using big blocks of content, you know, whether it be, I always use Apple, don't I? The Apple website or Amazon or any of the big brands, really. Just check them out and see if you can see. They never use large blocks of content, and there's a reason for that. And so it can affect trust again. So these issues that I've just highlighted with design and styling and blocks of content and all that, it does damage the brand. It can all just damage the brand, because we all judge this. We take a look at it and we think, not sure. And finally, on this point, we have this 3-second rule, and within the 3 seconds, you've got to have these 3 elements clear on your website. So people land on your website, make sure they can see who you are, make sure they can see what you do, and make sure it explains why choose you. And obviously that last one's probably the most difficult one to get across. You really do probably need a designer in that instance to get that content styled appropriately, to get it across within 3 seconds. So within 3 seconds, people need to know those 3 things. Just those examples that I gave there, no, you know, okay, we can see that they're called Wheelgate, but I can sort of see that they're a bed and breakfast. It took me a few seconds to see that bit of content. It's quite small, bed and breakfast. But why would I choose them? Okay, so they've got the 4-star. They have got the 4-star and AA, but it's a tiny little logo hidden away. Get a big heading about that. You know, make that content big, blocky, simple. Pull it from the content. The content, I bet that content's really good. You know, it's cozy, superb breakfasts, blah 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 blah. Obviously, it's 4-star. Get that pulled out into bullet points. So yeah, too many issues. Okay, so this is kind of what I was just saying. You know, there's no tagline, there's no benefits. It's not clear what you do and why I choose you. So get that across within 3 seconds if you can. And then the other critical error that we see on websites is those contact forms. And I know we've mentioned this recently, but we see common mistakes like too many fields, unnecessary fields, and it's not easy to use on mobile. You know how difficult it is to type or use a website on a mobile phone. So do consider that. Make sure you check your forms on your mobile phone. Has everyone done that in the last few weeks? Because we've mentioned this in the last few, and it's, you know, just go to your website on your mobile phone, check your contact forms, check your forms, see how they work. Are they frustrating? Is there any friction? You know, when you click on one field, does it go to the next field? If you have got a phone number field on there, does it let you type the phone number in straight away? Or do you have to select the keyboard to change it to the phone number keyboard on your phone? You know, you can have it so that it automatically changes to the numeric keyboard. Web designers can do that. So if that's not happening, that's friction, and friction reduces conversions. We also I mean, the reason why we did this webinar was it last week? I think it was last week. The reason why we did the multi-channel one is because we just still don't see business owners embracing different types of marketing. If you're going to at least push a message this Christmas, you need to get it everywhere. Or if you're going to do a promotion or an offer, get it repeated in all these different places. The impact is huge. Especially now in the lead up to Christmas and New Year. Think about January. Think about mid-Jan to end January now. Think about that time because if you don't start marketing now or doing something about your business online now, then you're going to miss out on those inquiries in the new year. It is a knock-on effect. Remember, the consumer journey, it's 90 days that people take to go from the first search to the booking or the inquiry. So 90 days of decision making. Yes, obviously in the lead up to Christmas, sometimes if you're a type of business that offers something people buy at Christmas, then that's going to be sped up. But generally, it's up to 90 days that people research, think about it, laziness, procrastinating. It's all those different things put together. So you need to be thinking about the new year, well, mid to end January right now. Multi-channel marketing, get the offer, I'll get your promotion, I'll get this message seen in lots of different places. Advertising on Google is tip number 6. I wanted to touch on the Google side of things and how you should consider your marketing on Google. Well, Google's structure is, if you can see that, there's 3 different elements on Google. You've got the ads at the top of the page. Typically, I mean, sometimes you might not see ads. In the next screen, I've got a screenshot that doesn't show ads, but typically you will see ads, and then you'll see the Google Map entries just underneath the ads. You'll see the map, and then you'll see 3 businesses. In the marketing world, we call that the map pack, the three pack. So there's 3 businesses that appear below the map on Google, on the first main search page. I'm going to talk about that in a second. And then below that, we've got the organic search. And the organic search is just where Google decides to rank your website organically, basically based on the relevance of your website to that search term. Whatever that person's typed into Google, Google decides where they want to show your website in the organic ranking. So just take note, the organic results are below the map results, and they are below the ad results. So it's important to think about that holistic approach, not multi-channel, but more of a holistic approach when it comes to Google as well. So let's just go to Google quickly. If I go to home, okay, and if I just type in, we'll do jewelers. I'm going to do, local town, Harrogate, that'll do. Maybe it's knowing what I'm thinking. Now, I am actually logged in. So a good way to do it is go to an incognito menu, guys. So when you're doing a search on Google, got to go through this private thing. Top searches, trending search, Sharon EastEnders, Son Dennis. Brilliant. Okay, so jewelers, let's go jewelers, Harrogate. And then this is an incognito search. So there's obviously no, I'm not signed in. It's not using any of my search history. So it's not. So basically, when you're using Google in a normal window without it being incognito or private, it's using your search history. So the search results will be tailored to you personally. Google knows what you've clicked on, what you've searched for, and it actually changes the search results depending on your history. So that's why if you really want to know where you're found on Google, you need to open up a private window or incognito window. And so I'm doing that here. And actually, there's no ads on Google for this particular search, but you've got the 3, the map pack, which I mentioned before. Why are the 3 businesses here? Why are these 3 businesses here? Well, let's pick that up in a second, because we're touching on the Google holistic approach and GMB as well. And then you've got the organic results here. So these 3 here are chosen not by specifically just location and proximity, but it's obviously the amount of engagement they have with their own Google My Business page. For example, Ernest Jones here might be updating their page regularly, might be putting posts on their Google My Business page. I would recommend a different post every month on your GMB page. Make sure you've got photos updated of the team, the interior of your business, the exterior, what you do, what you sell, and photos generally, just nice photos, a different variation of photos. And also, of course, it's taking up the proximity and location. But if I just, what a lot of people do is obviously a lot of people do click on these first 3 results here. But if you click on the map, which I actually do click on the map rather than those 3 results. And a lot of people understand Google now more than ever. And I know for a fact that, people do tend to click on the map, and but they will review these first results. They are less likely to go to page 2 and 3, of course. So these top results on here are really important. Just take note of the ad results here. So there are actually local ad results on this particular search. Goldsmiths and Montpellier have taken those local ad positions, and they also have because of that, you get a kind of green icon. I've just scrolled in and lost it now, but you do get a green icon. There's 2 different results now. I've scrolled out, and you can see on the map there's some, I don't know if you can see, but there's green icons. It's a special icon that you get for local ads. Local ads, I would definitely consider doing that on Google. How do you do that? Well, I should have put Google local ads instead of local ads Google, but just search Google local ads, and you can click on the top result there, book local jobs, grow your business, get started. And you can set up a local ad on Google, and the budget doesn't have to be much, £50, £100. Now's the time to do that. You only pay for results. Your budget is only used when someone clicks on your ad. This is a very basic way of doing Google ads. This is local ads, Google ads. It's a local version of it. It is a bit, it's based on clicks as well. So you will get loads of clicks because people don't have to just put jewelers. They might be putting as other search terms relevant to what you do, but you will get clicks in other search terms. The catchment area for keywords is quite wide. So the only thing I would say about local ads is get you lots of clicks, but the quality of clicks might not be as good as a actual ad on Google, a managed Google ads campaign. That's where the serious stuff comes in. So if I just go to Google and type jewelers leads, there you've got the ads. So what would I do now if I was a business owner right now? It's the 10th of November. I would certainly make sure my GMB is updated, get the photos updated, run a post, make sure you get a post done now in the lead up to Christmas, maybe do another one in December. And I would be running an ad campaign as well, because most people click on those top results. Now, on this particular screenshot I've got here, it says 58% of people click above the fold. So it's that top half of the screen that you can see on your window when you've done a search, for example, on Google. Now, on this particular screenshot, there's only GMB results, but it's the same thing. If you have the Google ads at the top, then 60%, 58, 60% are clicking on the Google ads. So whatever's at the top is getting the most clicks. In fact, almost 60% of the clicks. Now that does include the map. So if the map's coming up there, people are clicking on the map, like I say. So wherever it is, people are clicking above the fold. And if you're below that fold, there's a big reduction in the clicks that you're getting. So if you want to be found, if you want to get some business in, then I would be looking at what's coming up on the top half of Google. And if there's not much competition doing ads, Google ads, get yourself on a Google ads campaign, because it's cost per click. It's you're only spending when someone actually clicks on your ad. When someone's putting a search into Google, relevant search to what you do, they're interested, they need something, and they're clicking on your ad. So really important. But GMB is part of this. It's tip number 7. But don't forget, like I said earlier, update your opening hours. You've got your photo. You can put your social media links in here. You can do posts, like I say. You can even do a short URL. So if you've forgotten how to do that, well, just log into your Google My Business page in the dashboard on the home, on the main dashboard. You can actually, somewhere on there, you can pick a short URL, update your services, reviews? Is all of this looking good? When was the last time you checked in with your GMB? Really important. And just to tie in with all of this, do consider that consumer journey. And that's what I was talking about before, is that people are starting their search maybe now. This is the time when people are starting their search. Okay, so I'm looking to move, let's say, and I'm looking at properties. I'm not looking at doing that for, well, I'm looking for an estate agent, let's say, or mortgage advisor. I'm not looking to do that now. I'm looking to get that sorted for January, because then that's when we all make a fresh start. We're all in the mood to get the admin done, to get stuff sorted out, whether it's a solicitor, estate agent, a boiler, gas check, sorry, or you get your flooring done, whatever it is, or even the sales. You know, if you're e-commerce or a jeweler, like I say, that it's not just all about Christmas, it's all about the new year as well. So people are starting those searches now, and they won't finish them off until mid-Jan. So that last search there, the direct search to your website, and the Google searches along the way, the Bing searches, do consider that consumer journey. So yeah, so I'm just going to flick off this a second, jump off this page here, exit this, try not to exit the webinar. There we go, all good. And Henry is in the chat. I can see his name. Good to see you, Henry. It's a shame you can't join me today, but yes, so the webinar link was sent to everyone, Jen, so I don't know. I mean, I've made sure that these are all going out. Hope everyone's okay. Frida's saying, went to the website after last week's and changed out the italics. Great stuff, Frida. You've changed the italics. That's, like Henry says, it's exactly what we'd recommend. We do see italics and different color fonts used on lots of different businesses. I'm going to do a search. We've got a couple of minutes left. If you want me to check a website, Frida, obviously I checked yours last week. Hope that's really helped with you. Let's just do a quick search whilst, and I know you can't see my screen, but I'm going to share it in a second. Give you a quick example. I'm going to give you a quick example of the typical things we see based on those tips we've just gone through. And those 7 or 8 tips, by the way, are a lot of thought's gone into. Those are the biggest things biggest problems we see with small business owners' websites. Those are the things we see time and time again. And we want to get that on a webinar, because we could share that, in future with small business owners. So I'm just going down Google here. I'm actually going to go to page 2, because everyone that's on page 1 is obviously clearly doing well for themselves. So let's just click on, I don't know, I've never done this. I've never clicked on this one before, genuinely. So this is the first website I've gone on, the first one I've clicked on, and 3-second rule. So I can see that they're called Miracia. Am I pronouncing that right? Maybe. It's a guest house. It's not that clear that, where is the guest? There it is. So it wasn't totally clear, but 3 seconds have gone. Okay, but why would I? You've got to literally go into the content and read about it. So classic problem highlighted in the webinar there with the tips. Why have all of this content? It's not too bad. This is quite nice, nicely styled. I like the way that content starts left aligned, but in the center of the website. Quite like that, by the way, when you've got a left aligned bit of content in the center of the website. That's nice styling and design. But unfortunately, it's just a bit lacking, isn't it? The website just, I was immediately put off by the look of this website. I'm not sure, even the Gmail, the fact that they've got a personal email address, who am I emailing here? Bit iffy about that, a bit dodgy. They've got a TripAdvisor icon at the top there, but where is all this trust element? I want to know what this website, what this business is all about, and why would I book with them? And unfortunately, immediately put off. To be honest with you, I would just go back to Google. Let's go to someone else. I don't know. Go to page 3, page 2 and 3. By the way, guys, there's loads and loads of relevant businesses still there. Page 1's usually dominated by Booking.com and all those kind of booking websites. So I would actually advise, if you're just looking for accommodation, by the way, I often go to page 2 and 3 personally, because I know that's where I'm going to get the independent businesses, the true local businesses. Unfortunately, they just can't get to page 1. So I will go to page 3 And I wonder how many other people do that. But it's only because I know, you know, how Google works. Page one just dominated by those search engines, booking.com, etc. Second website I've been on, need I say any more? I'm sure these businesses are lovely. You've got great accommodation. You know, I'm not trying to be cruel here. My job is to pick out, obviously, to help them, really, to help them grow the business. And I wouldn't know where to start with this one. The red, the design, straight back to Google, gone. And these are the first three. I like the name Rose Dean. That one sounds quite nice. So I'm just giving an example of how many businesses fail with their branding, the look of the website, and the trust element, the logos. This is much better. I mean, it's funny that I said this, the name Rose Dean. I just know that that's had a lot of thinking go into the brand name. You know, the brand name speaks volumes quite often. And straight away, this website is better. Although I don't like how those elements kind of animate in there. It's a bit basic now. So you see what I mean? So you've got a really nice logo. That is a very nice logo. And you've got some nice font here. That font looks like a forum font is what the name of the font is. I think it might not be. But then when you go down to this bit here, this is like an Arial font. You know, we all know what Arial and Times New, you know, those basic fonts. Well, this is what they've suddenly started to use down here. And then you've got the nice font again. Do you see what I mean? Then you've got the brand font. But what's this all about? It just looks a bit, it's just a bit iffy. This is nice. I like what they're doing. But yeah, you can see what I'm trying to get at here. There's some good elements. There's a really nice menu to this website. But that's, you know, 1 in 3. So we could check this all day. In fact, one last one, because I just want to give you another example of let's do jewelers in Harrogate again. Like I say, we'll do that one and see. I'm going to go to page 2 because I'm going to give someone a fair chance. Crown. Let's have a look at this one. There you go. So it's amazing how many businesses are overlooking their website. Again, I'm not sure where to start here, to be honest with you. There's too much text font, you know, too much, it's too basic and boring. It's great that they're celebrating 21 years. But why isn't their website backing up the quality business that they really are? They've got a great reputation, I'm sure, but this website just isn't doing it justice. The logo, it's high res. I can see by zooming, just zoom in, basically, is all I was referring to earlier in the webinar. Have a look at your website. Zoom in if you can. You can either do it with your menu. You can click zoom in here a few times. Just check if it starts to get fuzzy and blurry, then you've got an issue. So yeah, the logo is high res on this one, and I obviously wouldn't change that because they've been in business so many years. Might be time for a slight rebrand though with the green, because I think the green, yeah, brilliant that they've been in business for so long, but you can do a slight variation change on that green color, and it can make a world of difference. Sorry, you can really make a world of difference. So bit of stuff to recommend to these guys here, and it just goes to show you know what they're missing straight away. The social media, let's have a look. Well, they've got all this tons of stuff going on. They've got the links. Thankfully, the contact form is not very nice at all. So they are going to lose conversions because of small things like that. And even the footer of the website is just very basic, a bit iffy. So yeah, there's a few things going on here. Let me just go back to the opening. Oh, it's all on one page as well. So that's interesting. So it's all on one page. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that unless you've got a really sort of visual website, really fancy looking product. Sorry, if you've got something to show off visually. But yeah, I think they need a slight variation on the color. I'll give you a quick example of colors. Let me just go to a website. It's a youth hostel. They've got tons of different youth hostels scattered across London. So you can see there's, I don't know, maybe 15 different youth hostels. Obviously, as we can see this one, they've got some iffy things going on here. You see this little pink bar that's come up with the font. they've got a nice logo, okay, but just take note of that green. You see, the reason why I brought this up because there's green color there and the pinky color here. So just take note of they are quite dark color variants of green and pink. So I'm going to come back to that. So that's a dark variant of the green and pink. A bit iffy kind of fonts. Some things are not working on the website. A lot going on here. A lot of content. Gray font. I don't like light gray fonts. That doesn't work well. It's difficult to read. So let me show you the one that we've redesigned their website basically. But I wanted to show you. So this is a redesign of their website. So just to go back to the old one. This is the old one. Take note of, let me find a bit of green for you. Let me try and find a bit of green. This will do. See, this is the green that they've got in the logo. You can see that green there. Let me show you an example of the green. Maybe I haven't. Okay, I'm gonna have to just go to the logo. Let me just show you what we've done with the logo. And this is as basic as it gets. We basically changed the color on the logo and the branding ever so slightly. They didn't even ask us to do this, but as part of the web design, you see that green? You see the old one now? The old one's a bit muggy, dull. That's what we thought when we were given the logo and this website. We thought, you know what? This is for young people. It's meant to be fresh, funky. Let's just go back to the old logo. You see the old logo? It's got the gray font as well. Look at the green, look at the pink. And then there's a new one. We have actually changed the pink slightly as well, but the green is a lot more brighter and funkier. And so, yeah, we've done that intentionally to make it a little bit fresher. Obviously, it looks like Airbnb a little bit now because, they are the best designers after all. So a really nice looking website that we're building. And yeah, so that's the difference is a slight color change. And why not? It might be a brand that's been established for 21 years. You can do a slight brand change. It won't cost the earth to do. Even if it was just on the website, it would make a bit of a difference. So I just wanted to highlight just changing colors slightly can have a massive impact on your brand, the feelings, the emotions you get from looking at that brand. And for me, this one, it looks a bit old. It just these guys have got to start appealing to I don't mean old as in age. It just feels a bit dated, a bit muggy. They need to start appealing to a younger audience because eventually the younger people start using your brand. You've got to think about the future, and I think it could do with the slight twist on the colors, ever so slightly. Like I say, just little things like that. Okay, so really want to say before everyone goes, thank you again for joining. Really appreciate your time. It's been a pleasure again. And we thought this would be a shorter one, but it's run for the whole hour. And we are back next week. But next week, we're focusing on one topic. And I won't reveal what that is yet. Yes, we've already started thinking about next week because we want to start to put in some really meaty ones as we lead up to Christmas. There's some obviously key bits we need to cover off with you. So I will send an email and it will come from me, and I'll do that before next week, and I'll give you the agenda. So keep your eye out for an email from me for the agenda for next week's webinar. And I think we're all done. But thank you again for joining, everyone. And if you're watching this on recording, please do reach out to us still if you need our help. We're not going to try and sell you anything. We're just here to help. I've told the team to specifically do that, so they will do that. We're not a sales company anyway. If you want to have a website, if you want any help from us, obviously we'd love to help you, but we're here on behalf of Google and Microsoft. And that's why we're a Google Premier Partner, Microsoft Elite Partner, because we're basically, I guess, hired by them to help small business owners in the UK. We're very niche at what we do. We're one of the few companies in the UK to be in this position. So please reach out to us. We want to and need to help you. And so if you do want to speak to us, just call 0800 089 0879 or jump onto our website and just fill in a form. Hopefully the forms are all right. Hopefully they're easy to use. The irony, eh? So fill out a form and we'll be in touch. But thanks again for joining. And that's it, guys. Thanks, Denisa. Thanks, Frida. Thanks, Jen. Thanks, Henry, for looking after chat for me. And thank you, everyone. See you next week at 11 a.m. And have a lovely week. And we're getting closer to Christmas. So thinking I'll go off and do some Christmas shopping at some point before next week. So catch you next week. Bye, everyone.